All right, everybody, welcome back to the shop and episode 2 of Cameron Niemela's CR125 build that you guys can win. Today, you're getting the cheap and dirty experience. You're doing a GoPro chest ride with me. We're gonna take Cameron's bike apart and frame it, start building our lists, get everything we need organized. This shipped there, that shipped there. We're gonna talk about it as we go, as well as a few things laid out over here on the bench. We've got a place for that cute little engine to sit. We've got a couple odds and ends here. We've got a little coolant catch when we drain the coolant. Barely any tools, really. It doesn't take much to do this, so if you guys are intimidated by taking your dirt bike apart, don't be. It's super simple. A little list here I'll make as we go. Cam's bike needs and notes. A couple bins here, things like the steel bits that I want to zinc. I'll drop them in here, get them organized, so on and so forth. I've also got a bin for the parts I will either no longer need or need to stash for later. So having said all that, I think it's time to grab some drills and get stripping this thing down. Hope you guys are ready for the ride. If you guys missed episode 1, I will leave a link down below for you, but this is a gorgeous 2003 CR125 that is not going to look like this anymore. This will be the last time you see it like this. We're going to, like I said, strip it down, rebuild it. It doesn't need rebuilt, but that's the only way to do these giveaway bikes for you guys, and every penny we can earn for this bike goes to Cameron's wife and kids. So very cool. I'm happy to be a part of this. I'm happy to have you guys and your support. Not only that, but episode 1, you guys drummed up about 4,500 bucks, I believe it was, and I have not even thrown a wrench at this yet. So really good job. That's all thanks to you guys. You're killing it already. Cameron did so much for so many of us, impacted so many lives. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get a card that he sent me, the last one. We'll start this thing off with a joke. I keep telling you guys I'm not gonna read this card because it was like a Cameron, more of like a tasteless joke. Some of the non-YouTube side maybe. So I bought a bunch of shock bumpers. If you guys don't know, Cameron over at Pryme MX, which you guys can still support. Pryme MX is still up and running. He makes black shock bumpers for the shocks. You don't have this ugly yellow or orangey colored bumper in there. So I had bought like 3 in a row in separate orders. You guys all recognize this if you bought anything from Pryme. Looks like you've been plugging lots of holes with these lately. I'm not going to read that part. If you need any more, I should read that part. I'll let you guys read that part. It's pretty funny. Just something you wouldn't expect Cameron to say, or he certainly wouldn't probably say on YouTube. He had a great sense of humor. I appreciate your support. Cam, we miss you, buddy. Let's get building. So no doubt I have tons of good memories of Cameron. Everything from YouTube videos to being one of his broke the built judges to all those personal notes he would send you in your orders, some more endearing than the last one you just saw. But you know, I've got a lot of good memories of Cam, so I figured it'd be cool to ask you guys what your favorite Cameron memory is. Go ahead and drop it below. Feels kind of weird gutting a nearly new bike. I mean, the thing is already reworked and gone through. I want to say Justin at Moto Whips had it. I'm not really positive. How did I end up with this thing? Oh yeah, so we were supposed to do a restyle kit on it when Honda launched, or Polysport launched the Honda restyle kit that came after this one. This is the previous gen. I probably should hang on to that. So it ended up making its way from Southern California up to my house in Idaho, and then it kind of just sat and sat and sat and sat, and we kind of didn't really get to it. And as time went on and things happened with Cameron, it dawned on me. I was like, hey, I should ask Ron, owner of Decal Works, this is his bike, if I can use that bike. It sat here for so long. It was kind of like one of those, you know, universe things where you know, everything kind of happens at the right time when it's supposed to. I really do believe in that. And so I called Ron. He had no objections to it. He was on board right away. Really cool. And now we'll still get to do the restyle kit, and I'll show you guys that and the new decals in an upcoming episode. But the bike also has a much greater cause, so really cool. Now I do believe that Dirt Bike Magazine rode this. It is dusty underneath. I think it did go through a magazine test with old Tilly Boy. That doesn't have any oil on it, so bravo to whoever installed that. Now on the flip side of that oilless air filter comment, this gas tank doesn't seem to have any fuel in it, which is great because if it was just going to sit all this time, right? So maybe somebody just plop that air filter on, knowing it was going to sit, and when you do oil them, they tend to deteriorate over time. So that filter would be reusable, whereas after it's been sitting, I don't know how long it's sat before I had it. Maybe it just would have been nuked, so I retract my dickish comment. And this is a super, super nice bike. I mean, a little dusty, like I said, but somebody had just gone through this thing. Got a nice shorty on there, FMF exhaust. I'll let you guys know what's going on with that setup in just a second. We're going to use it for something special. Got some nice ride engineering triple clamps on it already. A bunch of cool little washers, all these little drilled fender washers. Just pop the bar pad off. Nice set of Adrian's one-piece bar mounts. Of course, we already talked about the ride clamps. Got some really nice works connection parts. The stem nut, these are even drilled if you want to do safety wire. Nice parts. We'll reuse some of the stuff. Oh, I get to use one of my Pryme MX screwdrivers. Cameron sent me these, actually. They work awesome. They're the Pryme MX JIS screwdrivers. I don't know if he has standard screwdrivers yet, but these are pretty badass. They never let me down. What do you want? Oh, it's Shelby. What up, fool? You're on YouTube.
What up, bro?
Hey, man. I know you like a good piece of content. I'm just ripping apart this 03 CR125 for the Cameron Niemela build. You guys had a nice bond. Give me a quick Cameron memory for the YouTube.
Oh, man. Cam just like probably one of the most genuine guys I've ever talked to.
I know.
I talked to him on, the first time I talked to him on Instagram, he's like, yeah, dude, you should come out to my house and run the private track in Washington. Like,
yeah. For sure.
Full door open. Super nice guy.
Yeah,
and, yeah, that's quite a legacy in the industry too.
Yeah, that's true. I remember you made a sizable donation too, and in some of the cancer battles. So thanks again for everything you've done for him, man. I know it's always been through my website. So awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's a battler for sure.
Definitely.
Went through a lot. I couldn't imagine.
He's a tank. All right, buddy. Well, I'll give you a ring when I'm done ripping Cam's bike apart, if that's cool with you.
Sweet, man. Sounds good.
All right, talk to you soon.
That thing.
I will, buddy. Talk to you in a bit.
All right.
See ya.
Yeah.
Shelby is a good dude. Been a big supporter of Cameron's through the last couple battles, so always good to get a call from my boy Jin. Get these wheels off. Oh, that was loose. Let's see this one. A little more tight. All right, let's see what's going on over here. Yeah, okay. Only one was missed. Da-na-na. Came out easy. That's always nice. Sometimes a little coaxing is in order. A nice round side, so you don't take a chunk out of the end of that axle. We want it to look good when it goes back in. And we're free. Oh, come on out. Really nice parts in the braking system. Looks like all the bolts in the bike, the chassis, the engine, the body, like all the nickel type. We'll be getting rid of those. But yeah, 270 mil brakes, big brakes on it. Galfer looks like a brand new Galfer line. That little orange guy, I'll probably cut that off and reuse the line. It appears to be brand new, but maybe a little sun faded. Got our front brakes in the bin. This rear wheel off. Got the old man kneeling pad. Feels good. Now, remember, boys and girls, every tool is a hammer, unless it's a screwdriver. Then it's a chisel. A nice gold DID chain. In we go. Get that rear wheel off. Unusual method, I know, but guess what? It works. Back in the coaxing position. Ooh, somebody lodged that rusty bastard back in there, eh? Ugh. Oh, it's stuck. There we go. Be free. Yeah, we're gonna have to go ahead and fix that, aren't we? Yucky. Nice. So far all the pinch bolts are tight, unlike the pinch bolts below. I think AHM maybe anodized these tubes already. They're like a cool gray color, so these are gonna get sent back to Brandon for a little bit more tuning up and cleaning up. But man, they're in really great shape. Hate when you get a used bike and these are all blown out down here. Sleep now. The first special tool we'd had to use so far, and most guys are getting along just fine without one. Spring puller. Come here, you. Ugh. Oh, who's that handsome devil over there? Say hi to the people.
Oh. Oh.
Hi, people.
Hi, people.
Tony's in the house. This whole thing, every piece of hardware is nickel. All right, get this other braking system off. These are going to get CR coated. We're going for a Cameron CR250 look. So we'll get that in the bin for now. And the spring, of course, turn spring, is steel, so zinc pile. What do you guys make of that? This thing is loosely put together at best. I haven't touched this yet. All right, well, we'll just call that low-hanging fruit and pull that beezy off of there, eh? Nice. There we go. Not too tight. At least something was on here properly. Out you go. Let's get that linkage out of there. Swing arm to follow. Let's see if this main pivot shaft was tight. Okay, yeah. No problems here. You guys can use something like this as an extra set of hands. It's about the same size as that main pin, so you can drive it out. This will hold it up, won't go flying off the back of your bike. That came out nice and easy. No rust. That's a good sign. That's actually freakishly light. I don't think it's titanium though. All right, everything's free. Pull your little helper, and then this bad boy should come right out. There it is. Shocking. All right, so the linkage and shock bolts, especially that one on the floor, quite ugly. So in the zinc bin they go. Got to delete some of that rust. Somebody did a pretty good job cleaning the flash off this. Looks pretty nice. Although there was a mystery nut, so it looks like the bottom of your clutch lever pivot bolt, but we'll find out soon enough. Ow. The other side of this air boot is not fully seated because this clamp is keeping it from getting onto the carburetor all the way. See if I can give you a shot of that. Not sure. Right here. It's not off, but it's certainly not on either, so watch out for that kind of stuff. You could flip this to the top side and get all the clearance you need to reach the screw, and also make sure your air boot's on your carb all the way. Voila. Well, maybe it wasn't seated. That does not look good at all. You guys can see that. Looks like a bit of dirt, grain mixed in there with some fuel and premix. Look at the slide. Let's see if I can get a little finger wipe for you guys. Yeah, you can see it in there. Yeah, ooh, not nice. There, that's from the carb. Make sure your air boot's seated, guys, and you have oil on your filter, please. So here's something pretty cool for you guys. Josh over at 3DP Moto has been 3D printing these CDI sleeves for us on the bikes we can't get them for anymore. This one's in great shape, unless I accidentally tear it, but you can't get these anymore from Honda. RM250 needed one, the CR250s needed them. This will make a really great, it's quite pliable still, really great prototype, or not prototype, working model for Josh, so that he can get his dims and make you CR125 guys some new CDI sleeves. So we'll save that for Josh. And these guys here still haven't seen any aftermarket options in black, so we'll give these to Dino too, try and keep them in good shape. If you guys know of a place to get black louvers, we literally, for the Honda at least, have not seen them. So holla. All right, it's time for one of the more annoying parts of bike deconstruction. Getting the coolant out of the radiators is always a mess. Get that bolt out, and you gotta bust a cap. Get her flowing. Oh, funnel can't keep up. There we go. It does not really look like it was full to me. There's definitely still some in there. Give her a tip, but it's looking pretty shallow in there. What do you make of that half full radiator there?
Doesn't look very good, Chuck.
Uncle Tony no likey.
Doesn't look like it's got maybe a half of what it's supposed to have.
Yes, sir. We're here to help.
Yeah. Yes.
Time to start popping all these hose clamps off, including those sweet non-Honda, non-OEM AutoZone ones right there. Maria, come on. Got a Lucy. Alright guys, so these are not Honda radiators either. You've probably seen these on eBay. Sometimes they fit really well, sometimes they don't. At least they're nice and straight and the fins aren't too macked. So this guy here, little piece of steel, take that off, throw it in the zinc pile. That one holds your radiator shroud to the radiator itself. So far I haven't made a big coolant mess either. I'm pretty proud of myself. China. All right, another free one. Well guys, as you can see, no special tools required. We're down to pretty much the last bits of it here. We'll get that engine out and then talk a little bit about where everything is going to go, what's going to happen with some of the parts and pieces in this engine, where everything over here is going, what's going on with all that stuff, and so on. So next up, I'm going to pull that carb and then we'll finish up today's video. Get this coil out of here. Thing's going to need some cleaning up. Super rusty and dirty. No big deal, easy fix. Upper head stay, top engine mount. Now we can get that carb out. The throttle cable is routed through the center of these head stays here, so need a little access. Out you go, bud. Come on, see what's going on in there. Already wiped most of it out earlier when we found the issue, but it pretty much looked like that inside of there. You guys may still be able to see that fingerprint on the slide. See, yeah, not good. You can see just the oily crud in there. We'll get her fixed up. All right, time to get this sucker out. It's the end of the road. Give her a wiggle. One. This thing is so little. And two. See how they look. I think somebody blasted these. Yeah, they're definitely raw steel. There is no longer any zinc on these. These bolt heads are blasted, and it was a half-assed job at best. Better pop that clutch cable out right quick, make life a little bit easier. Some kind of aftermarket coating going on here, some rough stuff. It's kind of neat. Give me your soul, clutch cable. All right, out you come. Come here. You're mine now. There she is. Oh, coming at you, Uncle Tony. Catch.
Oh, you got to watch your step.
There's the coolant.
There's the coolant, bro.
It's the moment I've been waiting for. You guys didn't even know I had moves like this. Oh, I don't know about that. All right, guys, that's pretty much a wrap. There are, of course, a few little bits and pieces, odds and ends, like the shock collars. Lock rings need to come off the shocks. They can go in the zinc bin. You know, take a few pieces of plastic off. I did find out where that 10mm nut came from. Just another loose bolt on the bike. Swell job, whoever installed that. But anyhow, we've got our bin full of parts. This, of course, also needs sorting. There's going to be things that we don't use. Maybe some things that we do use, like the brake lines mentioned earlier. The braking systems will come apart and get Cerakoted. This is pretty special. This is going to go up to Steve-O at Hugo Performance. He does not support the 03 CR125 yet, but after we send him this pipe, he'll be able to get some mounting points, create his own pipe, and have a brand new handmade cone pipe on this bad boy. And if he changes his mind, that's fine. But I asked Steve-O if he wanted to take a crack at making his first silencers. So I'm going to send the entire exhaust system up there and see what he can do. I bet he's down. He's another solid guy. Takes care of everything all the time. Clamps, will be pressing the stem out of that. Probably take these over to Dean at Fast Blast, get some coatings done, make it look like Cameron CR250. That's kind of the goal here with some other tweaks, odds and ends. These radiators, straighten out the fins, get those to Dean as well. I got a big old pile of stuff right here to sort, things we may do coatings on. Maybe we'll just brush them back up. Somebody already brushed these in the past. They actually look pretty damn good. So does the frame and the swing arm. It may have already been anodizing, or ano stripped rather. This looks like crap. Somebody just threw it in the bead blasters. Same with the engine bolts. They went in the same bead blaster. They have no zinc on them, so they will rust readily. That's okay. Got a little zinc pile here. Other things that'll go in the zinc pile would include, as mentioned, those lock rings on the shock. the bolts for the linkage. You can even take things like the steel collars inside of your swing arm if they're not too rusty. Take those collars out, put them in the zinc bin. Definitely going to redo the zinc on these hangers. These have been burned off, much like the bolts. You can actually see maybe some kind of, they were brushed in place. This steel pin, which can also be zinced, has some brush marks on it from whatever somebody ran on this. A brush, a wire wheel, I don't know what it is, but those don't have any zinc on them. They'll rust pretty fast. So this thing, honestly, in great shape. Pretty sure that this did not go to Justin. Justin's a much better builder than that. Some basic tools here, didn't use much, maybe a few sockets that are back in the toolbox. But other than that, guys, it's real easy. This sucker here, this little tiddler, tiny little guy, this is gonna go across the hall, this engine, over to this fine Puerto Rican fellow, Tony, Elite Moto Factory Tony. What are you gonna do to that engine, man?
I'm working on a snow bike right now.
Well, I mean, in the next 5 minutes, I need it done.
That's not gonna happen.
What are you gonna do to Cam's engine? Take it apart, check it out, make sure everything's okay.
Clean it up, throw some cami touches at it, I think.
Yeah, and then see if there's anything like we found on the bike today. Any loose bolts in there? It's looking probable, actually. We'll see.
Well, hopefully that cylinder's okay, because by the sounds of it, it sucked through some sandpaper.
Yeah, that's the other thing, guys. The carb, as you saw, that was kind of one of the only goofy little things. The carb was full of dirt. We had a few loose bolts here and there. What else? We had about maybe not even quite half capacity of coolant that it was supposed to have in it. And what else did we find? Not too much else. I mean, this engine looks like it hasn't been maybe rebuilt. There's some Cometic gaskets in here, the ones that have like the metal core on the primary top end, etc. But it looks, of course we don't know yet, like the stock Honda paper one in the center. So maybe these cases haven't been split. Of course, this is all just speculation. Somebody loaded this whole chassis full of the nickel stuff. We're gonna get rid of all that. We use Bolt motorcycle hardware around here. And then it also looks like the cylinder may have been coated in the similar coating as the fork tubes. Not positive. This looks a little different also, unless that's aluminum and it also just went through the bead blaster. So this is where we're at, guys. Don't forget to check this out on the website. You guys already know you can win this bike. You're supporting a great cause. You're supporting Cameron's wife and kids. Also go support Pryme, of course. Nick is taking care of all the day-to-day at Pryme, still making the buffing wheels, still making the frame tape. Gonna continue to keep Pryme up and running. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm gonna spare you the intro and the outro today. I will catch you in the next video. Of course, mXrevival.com. Get yourself entered to win this thing. We got a super powerhouse crew, as always, and everything you see here is gonna be transformed very shortly. So I will see you guys very soon. Catch you in the next one.